So last time we added the ability to choose a box, sphere, or cone and add an entity to a space. This time let's handle deleting an entity from a space as well as parenting and unparenting an entity. And we might get to components, so let's start. So if we run ix Phoenix server to start our server, let's take a look at what we have. So here we're looking at a particular space. Spaces, we can look at this one. We've got these entities and I can add another box. Okay, we've got the new box down here, but I can't delete any of these. So what if we added an X button? So if we look at the template, which is show HTML AXX, next to every line here, we can just add a little delete button. Button can just be X. What does that look like? So if we trying to save it, hold on. And okay, now we have this X button. Doesn't do anything yet. So let's say we want to send a Phoenix click event, delete entity, but we want to send the value, which is the entity ID, so we know which entity to delete. And how will we do that? Phoenix click with a value. Phoenix click send value. Phoenix value, I think is the way. So Phoenix value entity ID will be equal to, and I think in here we can't use tags, we have to use something like this, entity ID. Does that work? Inspect the source. I don't think that. What happens if I click it? What did we get? We got no function clause for delete entity ID gave you the string entity ID. So that didn't do what I expected. So what is the way they're doing it? Let's see if there's any hint in some of these other files. Oh, they use an at for a variable. Will that work like this? This still gave the string that. Okay. Let's look for some examples. Phoenix click. Phoenix Phoenix value. The value specified in LiveView.js push, such as JS push inc. Oh, Phoenix click JS push inc with a value, any number of optional Phoenix value attributes such as this, or will be sent to the server. So it looks like these support constants, so maybe what I want is something like this. I haven't seen this before. When receiving a map on the server, a payload will also include user-defined metadata of the client, or an empty map if none is sent. For example, the LiveView LiveSocket client option would send coordinates alt key information for all clicks if you bind that. Okay, let's try this thing. Phoenix click equals that thing. JS push delete entity, and the value is entity ID with entity ID. What does this say? JS not available is yet to be defined. What is JS? Oh, LiveView binding support a JavaScript command line interface via the Phoenix LiveView.js module. Phoenix LiveView.js. Phoenix LiveView.js. LiveView.js. And this is also not defined. Where do we get it? See this documentation. Phoenix LiveView 017.2. What's our LiveView? Mix. Nope. Mix. LiveView 016. I'll go 17.2. Are we on the latest version of Phoenix? Phoenix user version. Yeah. Let's try to do that. Change the version requirements or unlock them using next steps. Update. Live dashboard, minor, Phoenix live view, Phoenix live dashboard should be this. Floki should be 2. Okay, so let's try this again. Oh, okay. Now it has the value in here now. Ow! And what do we get here? Okay, we do get a value. Entity ID. Value? JS push. Why is there value that is empty? Should this be entity ID and then just this? Define in application is depend on activity under extra applications. Under def depths. Mix. I'm pretty sure it is in our def depths. It's a dependency. Phoenix live view. Okay, let's close this. Boot. Let me just close. Let me restart Xcode. Oops. We have an option for push expected keys to be one of value. Okay, so we do need that value back. And that was in show. It does need to be a value. So it can be loading, it can be target. Okay, enhance push events. It allows you to extend the built-in push event handling. Phoenix event is pushed to the servers. For example, you would wish to specify a specific component, specify additional payload values. Given this, imagine you need to target your current component, apply a loading state to the parent container. Push add class. Add class is optional. Remove class. Show. Hide. Toggle. Pushes event to the server. The map of values to send to the server. Okay. Let's get out here. I don't know what this is complaining about, but okay. So let's add this to our controller here. Okay, so we want spaces, delete entity, and give it the, what does this take? This takes a whole entity, and it deletes that entity. Okay. Yeah, I guess I can just do this with, whoops, here. This requires an entity. That should be sufficient. That'll delete it. And then we'll just reload all of these to see if it really is gone. Entity struct is not defined. Can I expand struct entity? Alias spaces entity. We got 4, 3. Get rid of the box, so we should have the cone and sphere. Get rid of the cone, we just have the sphere. Get rid of the sphere, we're all gone. Box, box, box. Get rid of BBE. Okay, so delete is done. let's save it. Commit. Let's make a branch. Check out branch. We'll call this version 002. Parenting, unparenting. Ability to delete from space. Okay. So check on that. Now we want to parent and unparent an entity. So when we parent something, before I do that, something that I wanted to clean up was in the show when we hard coded the my entity thing. Maybe we could just leave off the name, and over in the create entity, say if no name is present, we'll just get it from the type. And we'll go through the change set. So we cast these things, and name will not be required. But create name if missing. Got def create name if missing. Take a custom. We'll take the change set. And we'll only bother with this if change set is valid. Ecto validation. Let's look for an example. There we go, valid. Okay, so if change set valid, that's true. We're going to do something, otherwise just return the change set. Okay, now in here, I want to check a value. So I want to get the fetch field. Fetch is the given field from changes or from data. So fetch field, change set, and key. So I'm going to do fetch field the change set, and the key is name. Now what does this return? Fetch field returns changes or data. What does fetch field bang do? It just gives you the error, or it will blow up. Key not found. Yeah, here's a new title, so it says changes is this thing, otherwise it says this thing, otherwise it gives an error. Okay, so we want condition. If this is error, then we'll do something. In any other case, we don't care. It has a name, so we'll just return the change set. If it doesn't have the change set, we'll say that that the kind is equal to fetch field change set, and I want the type, which it must have. Then we'll add to this, so we'll say that the kind plus some random number, that'll be the new value, new name, and we'll just return, put that into the change set, so we'll put change into the change set. The key will be name, value will be new name. What's this? Con cannot handle cases with a case. We'll run our server. Instead of my entity, when I add a new box, it should say, oh, it broke. No value column, no value in column name validates non-null constraint in here. Okay, put change the fetch field name. Get an error. Oh, I guess it could be empty as well. Okay, so I'll inspect this. I'll inspect the label, change set. Compile, is that the thing? Alright, that here. Okay, the change set action changes type box data. Okay, what does put change actually give you back? Put a change on the given key is an atom. No, here's an example. You have this change, it's got author bar, title, foo, put change title bar. Change that changes its title bar. Change set put change author bar. Set changes. Okay, so we have this thing, changes with space ID and type was box. Then let's try it in the terminal. So we can have change set equals entity change set. They has type is box. Alright, and I want it equals entity change, or what are these? Import active change set. So put change on a change set with the key of name value. Should put that in there. Okay, so we didn't get into the errors then. So maybe we got to here, change that was not valid. Name, only the type was required, so it should be valid. But it may not have yielded an error, so if I do fetch change set, looking for name. Okay, so we got data, it's nil. Okay, so it wasn't an error, the data was nil. Data nil. Means you don't have name. Let's try again. Okay, add a box. Box 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Let's have it pick a number. Let's add this into utilities. Let's go to utils, def module, xr utils, def random id, specify a length, maybe the default can be 5, and num.random pick between 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What does this do? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. I believe these are the ASCII codes. So what if I want to do something several times? Enum. Enum. Enum each. About 4. How about either reduce? Invokes the given function for each element in the enumerator to reduce it to a single element while keeping an accumulator. Two-string list. Map, what is it called? Map. Flat map. Reduce. Takes an enumerable to length. the enumerable, and this is the accumulator, and the function just be the whatever, we don't care, and we want to pick a random thing each time, and then we want to cast this to toString. What's happening here? Has no rand, has no local return. Flat map reduce. Okay, what does this do? Copy and paste. Arity1 called with 2 arguments. Oh, this has an accumulator, right? Function has to have the second one as the accumulator, and we need to return the accumulator. Otherwise, halt. Oh. I don't think I need flat map, I just need map. Because what is this? X is the value, accumulator plus 1. I only need the accumulator, I don't need this. Reduce. What kind of reduce are there? Map reduce. This just gives this thing initial value, accumulating this, and it just returns map and reduce. Now we just need reduce then. While reduce. It only return the accumulator, which is the previous accumulator push that into the list. Right, previous accumulator, put that into the top. So now we have the xr utils dot rand id value. Give me that. Do that again. Let's include capital letters. And I can specify the length, 20, I'll get that one. So I think 5 should be good. Pretty random. And so here we can use this EXR utils rand ID. So come over here. Some of these that were my entity. Add this. Oh, box. Let's restart this. That. Oh yeah. Yep. Get a different kind of box every time. And we don't need to show. I don't think we need to show the ID here. A little cleaner. Is that a cone? Okay, so let's add that. Get add with our utils commit add random add name to entity if missing. Alright, that was just a bonus here. Okay, parenting, unparenting an entity. So what does that mean? We want to associate the parent ID with something, so we need to specify 2 entities at least. So we need 2 entity IDs. That function should probably belong in spaces. Let's add it at the bottom. Change, let's say it's give it an entity. Define parent. So let's say child and new parent. Child ID and the new parent ID. What you'll do is you'll just modify the ID of the child ID, and you'll set its parent ID. Parent ID. You'll do entity change set. I guess we can do this. ID is the child ID, and the change you're making is that the parent ID is the new parent ID. Get rid of this line. And update entity. So we just do that. Update entity, which takes an entity and new attributes. Entity and new attributes. Let's do this. Entity. And if you want to unparent an identity, define unparent entity. You just need the child ID. You don't care who the parent is. You're just going to break the connection and just say update entity. think you can set this to nil. Then we'll test this. So entity ID wants to become set parent ID. I wonder if that'll work. If we were to look at this thing, got a bunch of entities here. You know what? Let's bring those. Oops. Bring those back for a second so I can see the entities. Alright, let's say I want to parent this one or that one. So let's say this is the, it doesn't matter, this is the child. Let's say spaces dot parent entity. Child ID. Parent ID. This. Undefined function, spaces, parent ID. Right? Parent entity. DXR spaces alias this. That already had a source dot. Oh, okay. I need this. Spaces next time. Okay. So spaces dot parent entity. Oops. One. And that's this one. What we get? Okay, type. Oh, okay, we can't do an update because the type can't be blank. Let's just not use the same change set. So I think we need a new thing here for entity. Change set is if you want to change an entity. Here we actually want to reparent, so I think we want to not use the change set. I mean, it's fairly straightforward. We want to update. Just have to cast that it's a kind of parent ID. Let's say don't need a whole entity. I can have, just give me a, alright fine, give me the entity. Give me a parent ID. And entity cast ID. This is parent ID is the only thing I need. Alright. Validate. Acquired. And that is it. Inferior. Unset. Parent. Change set. Entity. Really, I'm just giving back this then, right? Entity. Don't need to cast anything. I literally need nothing. Change that. Internal to the application, we can do this. Outside is cast. So internal, we can just do a put change. So key is going to be parent value is email. Let's try that. So entity dot and if you have an entity, just has the ID blah. Whoop. Two parent 3 now attempted function 202. Put change takes it and put change set. So it has to be a type of change set. This is change. And data and changes. Just parent ID is no. Action, no changes, no changes. What if this had a parent ID? Okay, it's kind of a weird trick. Okay. Set parent change set. So we'll wrap the entity in a change, and then the change will be this. I don't think we need to verify that it exists. Except it might be useful to cast it. How do we usually do it? We do cast. Yes, and we'll just cast parent ID. Change type. What's happening here? This takes the data and then cast. Oops. If we recompile, we'll get entity dot set parent change set. If we have an entity dump parent ID, we'll get back this thing. And if we do unset parent change set, even if it doesn't have ID on it, whoops. Unknown field parent in there. Oh, parent ID. Okay. So if we have that for the change set, go back to the spaces. We don't need to use update entity. We'll use entity set parent changes with entity where the ID is the child ID and the new parent ID. That gives you the change set, which you'll pipe into repo.update. And for unparent, we'll do the same thing, entity unset parent changes with the entity of the ID being child ID, and set that to repo update. So let's see if that works. So I'm going to parent this to the other thing, grab this, copy. So we're going to say spaces dot parent thing to under this thing, copy. Okay. Okay, these are not IDs. Okay, looks like we set it the idea, so if we get the space ID spaces dot get space with entities. Get space with entities. Get this. What's going on? Expect at least one result. Oh, pasted the wrong thing, I think. This. So this thing has a parent, and the thing doesn't know anything about it. We have two entities. No, three entities. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 entities. All right. We're not showing any nested behavior. Oh, what's interesting is that this is the one with the parent ID. So C90 has a parent of 567. C90 has a parent of huh? Oh no. No. Which one has the parent ID? Parent ID, parent ID, parent ID. Okay, this is the one with the parent ID. Sorry. C21 has a parent of C01. C21 has a parent of C01. So this one should be nested underneath this one. And in fact, if I delete this one, it's fine. Deleting the leaf doesn't need any update, but if you delete the parent, I think it should delete the child too. And it did. Ooh, it worked. Okay. So we've already been here an hour. We've added some rudimentary parenting and unparenting. And so I think for next time we want to display some nesting of parent children UI for entities. And we accomplished deleting an entity from space. Parenting, unparenting an entity works in the back end, doesn't work in the front end. Allow parenting and unparenting entities in the UI. Save that. And we'll commit this. Added change. sets and spaces functions to parent unset parent. Okay, thanks for watching.